Aiemann. Congratulations on what can only be described as the biggest win of your career. I know it's been a while since the fight actually wrapped, so I guess just what are the emotions now that the dust has settled after not just a big win, but like a very impressive fight all around?
Yeah, it was an incredible feeling. I felt like $1 million after the fight. I felt really good. I felt like we won it. You know, I finished the fight super strong. And GSP told me that actually when he missed weight by 8 pounds, the first thing George told me about it was, this is going to be so good for the story. This is going to be incredible for the story. You know, not only are you fighting a legend in the sport, you're fighting him and you weighed 8 pounds less than him. You had to move up in weight for him. And then getting rocked in the fight adds to the story, adds to the adversity. I overcame it all. So I feel incredible right now.
Is that the type of fight you expected in there? Because obviously Aldo, I mean, I'm sure you saw the videos. He was very annoyed at his last fight, and he was hoping for someone to stand in front of him. And you basically stood inches away from him that entire fight. So is that what you expected in there? Yeah,
I did no wrestling for this camp. I expected us to brawl in the center. I think his last fight really made him upset, and I love to strike. You know, and Merab Davishvili is, you know, the best wrestler in the bantamweight division. He couldn't even take him down, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to waste my time shooting on him. I wanted to strike. I wanted to outdo him on the feet. You know, I didn't outdo him as much as I wanted to. I thought it would go better in the feet. I thought I'd get the hang of it much more. But because of the weight miss, what was playing in the back of my head was that I dehydrated myself 8 pounds more than he did. So I wanted to start much slower than normal because I didn't know if I would take the shots worse than he would take the shots, because I dehydrated myself 8 pounds more. I lost so much more water than he did. So I was expecting him to take the shots better. But then in the middle of round 2, I started smiling because I was like, you know what? His shots ain't that bad. His shots ain't that bad. But they were fast. They were fast. He's got quick hands still at his age. You know, he's a legend. I just told him backstage he's going to be remembered forever. You know, and I'm hoping that I gave him a great fight at the end. That was an emotional roller coaster for everybody, and it's a fight that it's a good one to retire on, in the sense that, you know, we gave people a war.
And I was going to ask this at the end, but I'll ask now since you brought it up. Like, did you have any sense that might have been his last one before this? And then I know you were on the highest of highs, but then when Aldo announces one of the most beloved fighters on the roster now, his retirement, it's the focus goes to him, obviously. But like, what was your reaction?
You know, I was surprised because he kept saying that he's going for a title run. You know, he kept saying, I'm going for a title run. I'm not done with this. You know, he wanted to win the belt at 135. I heard him say that a few times in different interviews, not just in the same one. So I didn't think he was going to retire. And I'll be honest with you, you know, most MMA guys, they like to stick around a little longer than they should. But I can never say anything bad about Aldo. He's a great guy, and I absolutely love him. And no one should ever forget how good of a fighter he is. And he gave me the fight of my life tonight. And I think he helped propel me. You know, it's almost like I could be the king of Montreal now after that performance. You know, people are going to respect my heart. You know, I told everyone I was going to fight with my whole heart in this fight, and I feel like I delivered.
Where do you think this pushes you in your career? Because as a win over Aldo, he might not be top 5, but he is Jose Aldo. After all. So where do you go from here?
Well, I think I'm hoping that, you know, Tuesday I'm in the top 10. You know, and they give me somebody between 1 and 9. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, it might happen, it may not happen. I want to say a big thank you to Sean Shelby for saving this fight. You know, he gave me a great offer, and I really appreciate everything he did for me to make this fight happen. You know, because it was in Montreal. And to say no, you know, 8 pounds is a big deal, man. You know, guys complain about 1, 2 pounds. I think Chris Eubank Jr. Paid his opponent $500,000 for missing 0.5 pounds, okay? So I know the average person doesn't understand how much of a big deal it is, but, you know, in the Army, they've done some tests before. You can look it up. You can check this out. If you dehydrate someone by 2%, the performance goes down by 6%. So I was much more dehydrated than him. So that's why I started off a little slower.
And then just last one for me. I don't know if you've seen the reaction, but the reaction was mixed over who people thought won the fight. So I guess, were you confident when it hit the judges' scorecard?
Well, I was confident because after round 1, I knew I lost round 1. Like, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that, you know. But that kind of was the plan because I wanted to see how hard he could hit and how well I take the shots. But after round 2, Firas told me straight, listen, it's 1-1. So then I knew, okay, I just got to win round 3. But then when he rocked me, I was like, oh, man, catch your breath, make some space, recover, win the next 15 seconds. I ended up winning the next 2.5 minutes. You know, and he was done. And he was even holding my gloves. And then to finish the fight, GSP was screaming, get him out of there, get him out of there. So when he grabbed onto me double underhooks, I just started slamming him with my chest into the ground. I wanted to get him out of there. I wanted to prove to everybody that I'm trying to finish this fight right now. And I'm closer to finishing the fight than he is. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Aiemann right here. Congrats
Yes, sir.
on the win. Obviously a huge one.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about the top 10, now you've got some healing up to do after a tough fight.
Yeah.
How important is it also to try and stay active this year? Because I know in the past
Yes.
it's been kind of a struggle for you.
Yeah, well, it's only been 6 months since my last one, and I feel like that's pretty good. And then I'm going to have another one this year. Depending on what they tell me about my concussion, I got rocked. It is what it is. I recovered super well. I'm going to see the PI. Actually, I'm going to take my family on vacation in Vegas. So I'll go swing by the PI as well and get tested and get everything done while I'm there. And see what the timeline is. Maybe September would be good.
And then I got to give you props for the suit at the press conference. Where'd you get that? Who's the tailor?
Guys, it's suitably. They gave me 4 suits for this week. I got to wear one every day for the media. I really appreciate them. Guys, if you're from Montreal, check them out. They make great custom suits. And the brothers, they work so well together.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Even just
Yes,
real
sir.
quick.
Yep. Who is it? Yeah? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
just last one in English, I think.
Yep.
Do you feel like he kind of put you with the weight miss, the late notice, kind of put you in an impossible situation? There was some word going around, like he said he wouldn't fight if, you had to give some of you his purse and stuff. Like,
Oh, did he say? I didn't hear him say that.
no, I don't know, that was some like word going around. We didn't hear him say that, but did you feel like you were put in kind of a really difficult
I
position
was
there?
in a terrible spot, guys. I was between a rock and a hard place because, the last time they came to Montreal was 10 years ago. And I don't know if they're coming back. My wife hasn't seen me fight live in 5 years because I was on a hot streak. And I got the mental coach and I feel top of my game. I got my wife front row tickets. Got my family coming, got my friends coming, got everyone coming here. And it's like, do I fight or do I not fight? And then it's like, if I wanted to become a legend, I would have to face adversity. I'd have to win when the odds were against me. And I felt like I did that today. And then even I got hurt in the fight and it came back. I felt like nobody can tell me my spot is given. It's definitely earned. And not too many people get to beat Jose Aldo at 145. So it's nice to be part of that club. Thank you.
Félicitations.
Merci.
Ce serait pour reprendre une question, mais pour le
Oui.
public français. Est-ce qu'on peut parler du troisième round?
Oui.
Où tu as trouvé l'énergie justement pour revenir? Et la partie technique, on entendait Georges et ton frère dire d'envoyer beaucoup de coudes, etc.
Oui.
Après la partie où justement Georges était devant et a poussé un peu la pression,
Oui.
comment tu as réussi à inverser la vapeur et est-ce que tu avais pleinement conscience de ce qui se passait, etc. Tu étais tout le temps aware à ce moment-là?
Oui, j'étais toujours conscient. Je travaille avec mon... excuse-moi. Sorry. Excuse me. Je travaille avec mon coach on parle pas juste que tout va bien aller. On parle de qu'est-ce qui peut arriver qui est mauvais pour moi. Et une des choses, c'est de se faire mal, de prendre une commotion, de se faire rock et des affaires comme ça. Il me dit tout le temps, si tu te fais rock, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Oui, je dis, OK, je dois faire de l'espace, retrouver ma respiration. I have to breathe well. Et gagner le prochain 15 secondes. Et le 15 secondes après ça. Et c'est ça que j'ai fait. Quand j'ai pris la distance, il a shooté sur moi. Guys, Aldo shot on me. Okay? I told everybody I was going to strike, I wasn't going to shoot. He shot on me. Okay? C'est lui qui est allé pour le takedown, il est allé pour la lutte. On savait, il y avait deux occasions où Aldo va essayer d'amener quelqu'un au sol. C'est quand il pense qu'il va gagner, il va le finir, ou quand il se fait mal. I know in training camp we figured out that Aldo only shoots on 2 occasions. One, if he thinks he can finish the fight, if he's got the guy hurt. And the other one is, if he got hurt, he shoots to try to recover. So when he shot when I was hurt, it was no surprise. And we turned it around and I was really happy that all that mindset training worked. Tout le travail qu'on a fait mentalement a vraiment travaillé pour moi.
Last one for me. You mentioned like someone between 1 and 9. Do you have some specific name?
Ouais, j'ai demandé pour Marlon Vera. On va voir, je pense que c'est un combat qui match bien style-wise. J'ai rien contre lui. It's a respectful call out, guys. I don't have anything against the guy. I just think it's going to be an entertaining fight. We both like to strike, and I think we put on a great show for the fans. And that's half the sport is that.
And you talk about Marlon Vera.
Marlon Vera, yeah.
Check.
I think Marlon's matched up with Mario.
Yeah, I know. But I'm probably out till September. He's fighting in a few weeks, right? No big deal. I mean, fights will be made.
Back here, congratulations.
Yeah,
Can
thank
you
you.
describe what it was like to have your name chanted in this building?
Oh, incredible. Guys, that's what I was hoping for the most. I got in Edmonton for the first time in my life. And, some guys go their whole career and nobody ever chants their name in the arena. And I've fought a lot of times at the Apex. I absolutely love the Apex. We cannot get rid of it. But it is great, and it's a special feeling to have a moment like that when the crowd cheers your name. It felt incredible.
What did it mean to have GSP in the corner with your brother, and how did he maybe help you the most with this fight?
GSP helped me a lot because, you know, he wanted me to finish. And he was excited for the fight, and throughout the fight, he was being involved. I thought he'd be more quiet. I thought he'd let Firas really lead the show. But in round 3, he was yelling me to go for it, and I went for it. You know, Firas wanted me to take it more easy and like go for it closer to the end of the round. You know, then I ended up getting rocked. You know, maybe the Rush St. Pierre came out, so I kind of went for it a little earlier in round 3 than maybe Firas would have liked. But listen, in the end, we got the win. It is what it is. It was great to have him. It's nice to have a world champion, one of the greatest of all time, believe that I could win the belt. He told me that I could make a title run, you know, before the fight even started tonight. So I appreciate him a lot.
One last one, if I can. I know GSP likes to say there's no courage without fear.
Absolutely.
That third round, when was that a case of that where your courage overcame whatever, if you were feeling any fear at the time?
Yeah, that was my whole heart, guys. I dug deep into my heart and I found a way to come back, and that's what you can expect out of me from now on.
Aiemann, right here.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned you wanted to start slow against Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
Pretty brave game plan to want to do that.
Yeah.
Was that changed with the weight miss, or was that the plan all along?
No, it was with the weight miss. The plan was to be way more aggressive early. One of my teammates, Rob Font, fought Jose Aldo, and if you watch that fight, he was doing amazing, man. Until the last 10 seconds of round 1 when he got dropped, he was smoking him. And, you know, I mean that respectfully. Like, he was just winning the round and then he got dropped, man. And it is what it is. And Aldo hurt him. You know, Aldo won the fight. But I wanted to do the same, but not get dropped at the end of the round. But then with the weight miss, I don't know. Like, listen, I don't know what happens to your brain when you dehydrate 8 pounds more than the other guy. So I took a safer route for round 1 just because of that, you know. But the game plan wasn't that at first. We had to change the game plan because of the weight miss.
You mentioned Marlon Vera as a possible next opponent.
Yeah.
I mean, UFC are coming back to Canada a little bit later on.
Oh, I didn't know
this
that.
year, I think that's the plan anyway. That's what I'm hearing.
We'll
But,
find out.
I mean, it would be a good slot for a main event if they were to do that.
Yeah, I would love it. You guys think I earned one? That would be great if I earned the main event. That'd be sick. I would love to do that. I absolutely love this. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've never been in the blue corner my whole life. In any MMA fight, boxing fight, Muay Thai fight, I've always been in the red corner. It's the first time I was in the blue corner. And I had to wait for Aldo to walk out. And then in the moment, I realized, you know what? I absolutely love this. And I walked over to my brother. I shook his hand. I told him, I love this. I went over to GSP. I told him, I love it in here. I went to Neil. I told him, I love it in here. I walked over to Bruce Buffer. I shook his hand. I told him, I love this shit. Then I went over to the referee. I told him, I love this shit. And then Aldo came back. I couldn't wait for Aldo to get in the octagon. I absolutely couldn't wait for it.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you. I also want to say, just sorry, guys. Kenny Florian, I got him, baby. Okay? 14 years later, 13 years later, we did it. Okay? Kenny, I got you.
Besides having the hometown advantage of having the crowd absolutely lose their minds over you, are there any other advantages to fighting in the town that you train out of?
It's just nice that your friends and family can enjoy. But in
Well,
the end,
doesn't
guys.
psych you out having your wife there for the first
No.
time in 5 years?
No. You know, I absolutely love her. You know, I want her to be there. But it's just, in the end, it's only me and Aldo fighting. I've come to the conclusion where, like, that's why now she's back in the arena. I've overcome that, like, I don't know what you call it. How would you say that? Superstition, I guess, that she's there or whatever. She used to come to all my fights from 15 until COVID. Only COVID, she stopped coming. Then I got on the hot streak. I'm like, you can't come because I'm on a hot streak. It was basically a superstition. But my mindset coach, mindset Mike, helped me get over all that stuff. In the end, it's mano a mano. It's me and the other guy. That's it. Nothing else matters. Not the crowd, not the arena, not the location. I'm going to prepare to my best, and I'm going to fight with everything I have. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.